All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of SaberSim's DFS office hours. It is Monday, October 23rd of 2023. Appreciate anybody tuning into this show. I know we're getting started a little earlier than usual. We usually do this show Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, but for today and tomorrow had a little bit of a scheduling conflict, so going to be doing this show at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, Monday the 23rd and Tuesday the 24th. So appreciate you guys tuning in. But for those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Andrew. I'm one of the coaches over here at SaberSim. This is a show where we go over how to use the SaberSim app, answer any and all DFS related questions. You get your questions in one of three ways here. First off, send us an email, support@sabersim.com. Second off, post it live in the YouTube chat. Third way, post it in the office hours channel in our Discord server. If you're not in our Discord, want to get joined up, there is a link in the description of this video here. You get access to our similar channels, individual sport channels, the office hours channel where you can ask questions ahead of time. And then you also get access to other members of the SaberSim team. We have a lot of sharp members in the community as well. And also want to give a big shout out to Giant Squid solo shipping the Sunday Night Football Showdown for a cool 500K. That was awesome. He also came in second place for 47.5K. So just a huge night for Giant Squid repping SaberSim. But it is Monday, so we do have to announce the winners for our weekly max challenge. For those of you who have been participating, I know you guys usually tune in on Mondays to hear about it, but the weekly max challenge is our promotion giveaway we do during the NFL season here. You get access to weekly prizes, season-long prizes for participating throughout the year. All you need to do is use the SaberSim logo as your avatar on DraftKings. Fill out our short form here so we can send you guys gear, and then max enter one of the mini max contests on DraftKings on the NFL Sunday main slate, and that will make you eligible for all of these awesome prizes here. So wanted to hop over to our spreadsheet here and just give a big shout out to Relic CK for finishing in 8th place with a score of 220.96 points. You were the highest scoring SaberSim user who participated in the challenge, which means that you are going to get a SaberSim hoodie and an entry into our end of the season free roll. So congratulations to Relic CK. And then jumping over to our trusty wheel of names here, we had 201 people participate. If you guys are looking for this sheet, it is in the Discord. It is linked. It is a pinned message in the office hours channel. If you want to see, make sure your name's on here. We always appreciate you guys double checking our work and keeping us honest. So there is a message pinned to the top of the Discord where you can check to make sure that you are logged in there. And then if you are logged here, and then if you're not logged, just send me a message in the office hours channel and we will look into it and get you taken care of. But pretty sure we got everybody here. 201 entries. I'm going to hit shuffle a couple times here, and then we are going to spin. The winner of this spin is going to get free entry into next week's mini max contest. And it looks like the winner is Karen's 99. So CAHRENS 99. Let me get this sheet updated here. Karen's 99. Congratulations. Our support team will reach out to the winners, both Relic CK and Karen's, and let you guys know you have won. So appreciate everybody participating each and every week. Having over 200 users each and every week up to this point in the season has been super cool. So I hope those numbers stay strong throughout the rest of the season. But with that said, going to get SaberSim pulled up here. I'm going to get out of some of these things here and going to start with questions that came in the Discord here. And then we will jump over to any questions that come in live in the YouTube chat. But I ran a build here right before we got started just so we had something to work with. We have a 2-game MLB slate tonight. I believe this is the last 2-game slate of the season, and then it is all MLB Showdown from here on out. So that's really interesting. We have Monday Night Football, and we also have one hockey game. So NHL Showdown, NFL Showdown, and then a short MLB 2-game slate. Really quickly here as we get into MLB Showdown season, I did a video recently on the YouTube channel. It is called, let's see where it is. Crush MLB Playoffs DFS MLB Showdown Strategy for 2023. So with this being the last 2-game slate, I would highly recommend checking this video out if you're going to be playing MLB through the World Series here. This should give you a solid place to start. But our first question here came in from Neil. It looks like it was answered here, but I do want to cover it for everybody watching here because I think that this is important with all of the talk around contest sims. So Neil said, I'm wondering if the ROI numbers include the rake. If a lineup has a 10% ROI, for example, Is that the expected ROI before or after factoring in rake? Great question here. So if you guys play on like, DraftKings and other sites, the rake can fluctuate, right? Sometimes like for the higher stakes contest, the rake is 10%, but for a lot of the lower stakes, a lot of the larger field contests, the rake is 15%. What we are doing at the moment is using a blanket rake. So we are setting the rake to all of the contest sims for 15% here and using that in the payout structure. So when we run the contest sim, we have this payout structure behind the scenes, which is based off of the percent to first that you input, the percent cash rate. All of those metrics are taken into account in our payout structure. And then from the payout structure, from the prize pool, we are doing a 15% rake from that. So rake is indeed included in the contest sims. I thought that was definitely worth clarifying for everybody here. All right. Next question from Teddy. Teddy said, hey, Andrew, aside from leaderboard position, is there anything else you take into consideration when deciding on whether or not to late swap? This is specifically for NFL main slate. Yeah, I think we had like a really interesting situation yesterday with the DK Metcalf news, right? Seattle is playing in the afternoon window, right? And Metcalf is like a game time decision, ends up being inactive. Boom, Jackson Smith and Jigba becomes a huge value, maybe additional targets for Tyler Lockett. So definitely taking into account injury news, like first and foremost, right? Taking into account leaderboard position, as you noted here, like, hey, are my lineups doing really well? Maybe I want to understand, did a lot of my long shot plays get there in the morning, or did a lot of the chalk hit? And you can kind of decide what you want to do from there. I will preface this by saying it will never hurt you to late swap. All you're doing is taking into account the latest and greatest information, right? The latest and greatest sims, as those sims dial in, as those projections adjust. Sometimes those changes can be minute, like if there is no surprise inactives, or if the starters are as we expect, nothing really happening in like regards to that there. So that's one case where I would say that, you might be able to squeak out like a little edge, but I don't think it's like super important to do it. But when injury news hits, if you want to optimize based on leaderboard position, I think that those are great times to late swap here. And then also one other thing that you can do here, which I can't demonstrate at the moment because I don't have a CSV, but you can late swap by contest, right? So maybe you have a set of 5 contests. Maybe you're doing really good in 2, and maybe you're doing really bad in 3. Go to your contest tab, select the 2 contests that you're doing bad in, late swap those one way, and then go back to the contest tab, select the 3 contests that you're doing good in, late swap those a different way, right? So with the contest tab, whatever contests are checked are going to be the ones that are late swap. So that gives you the ability to kind of handle late swap on a contest by contest basis, which I think is really cool. So that kind of leads us into our next question here from the Phantom, which I'm going to talk about this, but I'm not going to talk too much about it, right? So the question says, can you walk through an NBA late swap using contest sims? Curious if new sims post-lock update the ownership projections, and if the field lineups get updated as news rolls in. Is actual ownership pulled in at all? And how might you late swap multiple contest sizes? So this is a great question. And the answer is that we are going to have a lot of content coming out around this topic here, but I cannot give any spoilers just yet. I know NBA starts tomorrow, so look for some interesting updates over the next 24 hours, but that is all I will say on the topic. So want to tease you guys a little bit here. Team is working super hard on some really awesome stuff that I know you guys are going to love for NBA season here. So we will circle back on that one tomorrow. All right. This is our last question in the office hours channel. And then I see one from Demetrius in the YouTube chat. So we're going to work our way through those. But if you guys have any questions, now is a great time to get those in. So question here from Mike. Mike said, Andrew, what's the best metric to sort by using contest sims? Just signed up for this package, specifically NBA. Well, hey, welcome. Congrats. Happy to have you here, right? So first and foremost, just wanted to get that off my chest. But when you're running contest sims, so I have this set of lineups here. I'm just going to run a default contest sim for this showdown contest here. So I'm going to go set my contest sim settings. I'm just running a default. You can set up contest sims one of 2 ways, right? You can do it manually, or you can do it via our contest tab. Actually, 3 ways here. If you have a CSV, you can also do it from the save to my contest. So say I had a CSV loaded, my contest list would be in this window. I can right click on any contest. We will look at the contest dynamics, the contest size. We'll calculate percent to first, calculate cash rate for you. We will assign a number of sims of 100,000, and then you could just set it up with a simple right click, right? So what that would look like here, if I go to the contest tab, I could do it from all contests as well. So just right click, I see add contest sim, click that button. It will fill in all the information for me. It will even select the correct set of field lineups. And if you want to know why it is selecting the set that it is filling, it looks like this tooltip isn't working, but I do know that it works from within the contest sim settings within a build. So if I go to my contest sim settings and I go like edit this, I want to look at the field lineups. Oh, actually looks like it's not working, but I will make a note on that. So field lineup tooltip not working. We'll get that back up, but that'll basically tell you like why we're selecting that set. But if you're doing it automatically via the right click, just know that it is working the way it's supposed to work. Okay. So then if we go to our lineups here, so you're going to get a couple contest sim metrics, right? ROI, risk adjusted ROI, win rate, cash rate, ROI standard deviation, dupes, right? So our favorite here that we suggest that our subscribers use is risk adjusted ROI. The reason for that is because there is ROI, and then we are coining the term risk adjusted ROI, but it's really the omega ratio of the lineup. What the omega ratio of the lineup does, it looks at how often the lineup wins and how much it wins when it wins as a ratio against how often the lineup loses and how much the lineup loses when it loses. So you could have 2 lineups with 100% ROI, right? If one lineup here binks 3 times and then never binks again, and then you have this other lineup with the same ROI, this one only binked 1 time, but had all these other outcomes where it had high percentile finishes, might not have won, but did well over a larger number of sims here, like on average, the risk-adjusted ROI for this second lineup is going to be higher than the first one. The first one is like really boom or bust, really high variance here. So that's why it is called risk-adjusted. We are adjusting for the variance of the lineup, for the risk of the lineup. So that second lineup in our example would have a higher risk-adjusted ROI, even though the ROI numbers are the same. So that is why we prefer to use risk-adjusted ROI. I think that the only other time that I'm really using some of these other ones is as filters, is as variables for custom metric. If you're trying to create a custom metric, I think it's fine to include cash rate as like a floor variable, right? In SaberScore, we're including a small weight on average sum projection. Well, that's kind of our floor variable, right? So you could use cash rate. Maybe you're playing satellites, right? I think satellites is a time where you can use win rate as a standalone metric here. Other than that, I wouldn't use it as a standalone metric for like GPPs. Might be just too inherently risky here, but definitely an option there. And then we have ROI standard deviation and dupes. So I do want to describe dupes a little bit. So when we build your lineups here, and let's say we're building it for this showdown, right? If a lineup shows up as optimal more than once, we do not put that lineup into your pool more than once. We just tally that information as sim optimals here. So you can see this lineup has a sim optimals of 2. That means that this construction of 6 players showed up more than once when we were building your lineups. We are just going to tally that information and use that as a variable in our single game SaberScore metric here, which you can see sim optimals is being used. When we're doing the ownership build, we are actually letting the lineups be put into the pool more than once. So we can say, hey, over a 10,000 contest sample, this lineup got used X times, right? And I could see here like, hey, this second lineup was in that set of 10,000 field lineups, which is how many field lineups we have for NFL Showdown. It showed up twice, right? So you can know that information and use it, right? So that is what dupes is. I think dupes works better as a filter here. So you can like come in here and you can filter and you could say, you know, hide lineups where contest dupes are greater than, 10, greater than 5, whatever it may be, right? I think there is a little bit of a bug with that the team is working out, where sometimes it's getting rid of all duped lineups, but that should be fixed fairly soon here. All right. Really good question there from Mike, we are going to jump over to the live YouTube chat. So question from Demetrius, the build lineups tab is not working for NFL Showdown, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Okay, so if you guys run into an issue, I would do two things here. First thing I would do is a hard refresh. A hard refresh is either Control-Shift-R for Windows or Command-Shift-R for Mac. So what it will do is if I do that here, it's going to basically clear your cache and it's going to update SaberSim. So sometimes SaberSim can get caught on a cached version of the site here. So it's just going to give the app a good once over here. And then from here, I would not try and stay in the same build workspace. I would just open up a new build workspace. As you can see, build lineups is grayed out because I'm on DraftKings. I need to make my 2 adjustments, 2 projections. So I'm going to do my 2 adjustments. And then I'm going to build lineups. I'm only going to build 200 here. And then I'm going to see if this works, right? So your troubleshooting steps are hard refresh, open up a new build workspace, make 2 adjustments, 2 projections if you're on DraftKings, and then try and build lineups, right? If you do that and that does not work, what I would do is go to the top right corner here, go to report a problem, and then write us a brief description of what you are experiencing. This report will go directly to our support team where we can troubleshoot and help figure out what is going on in our support team. We have support 7 days a week here, always trying to be around, especially close to any sport locks here. So our team does a great job of trying to get back to subscribers as fast as possible here. But those are the steps that I would take if you are running into issues. All right, Jeff said, how do you build a lineup? Jeff, great question. If you are new to SaberSim and you want to learn the basics of it, go to the top right corner, but instead of report a problem, go to help. This will open up our support library. This getting started with SaberSim video is our best introduction video that I recommend to people all the time. And Jordan, our head coach here, walks through the process from start to finish, talking through SaberSim, what he's looking for, what he is doing. This is updated for the most current version of SaberSim. So if you are new to SaberSim, don't know how it works, I would check out this video. And then also, if you are not signed up with SaberSim and are checking out this show for the first time, we do have a 5-day free trial, which you can find details to in the description of this video. But this video is going to be your best option here. But really, all it is you log in, you have your projections here. All you have to do, make 2 small adjustments if you're on DraftKings. And then you come in here and you hit build lineups, right? We always say that SaberSim is built for time savings. It is a time-sensitive optimizer. We are handling all of the hard work for you. No need to do a bunch of rules and groups and try and get lineups that make sense, right? Our play-by-play sims were built from the ground up. We understand player correlations. We understand players' true range of outcomes, and we just streamline a lot of the busy work that you have to do with the traditional optimizer with all of our awesome, innovative models here. So come in there, make 2 small adjustments, build lineups, spend your time looking at your lineups, dialing in your lineups, looking at how risky your lineups are, right? We have great tools for that. Min Uniques is one where you can guarantee so many players within each lineup is different. That's one great thing about building a large pool of lineups. You might only need 20. We're going to build you 2,000, right? And then you have all of this optionality here. So check out that intro video and spend most of your time working on your lineups after they are built. All right, question from M. Jackson. I'm trying to understand custom ownership. If I upload custom ownership, does SaberSim automatically adjust to the custom ownership, or do I have to select match exposure to ownership? Okay, great question here. So I released a video last week here, and I do want to call it out. So using custom ownership with contest sims. If you are using contest sims and you want to use custom ownership, simply uploading custom ownership to SaberSim will not have an effect on the contest sim. So I walked through in this 5-minute video how to use custom ownership and contest sims together and how they interact, right? So just to reiterate, if you upload custom ownership but do not do anything else, and then you run a contest sim, it will not account for that information. So very important to follow the steps outlined in that video there. But the only thing that it will actually affect is any custom metric that uses ownership, right? So if you upload custom ownership and you're using our single game Saber score formula, hey, ownership is a variable in this calculation. So therefore it will be accounted for. So if you're not using contest sims, just uploading ownership is completely fine. Saber score will take that into account. But if you're using contest sims, you're going to need to do some additional work to get that information to have an effect on your lineup output. But really good question. All right. Easy E said, oops, I accidentally pasted it back in Discord. Let's move this to the YouTube chat and let's get rid of that message. All right. Question says, I have no clue how to use the website. I can't figure this out. I signed up for it, but I can't create the contest for which I want to play for, and I feel like giving up. Okay. Hey, I see Wise Guy already jumping in. Wise Guy, really appreciate you helping out in the community, man. Nice to see, everybody jumping in and helping Easy out. So if you are, kind of stuck here, right? This is why our intro video is so good. It is a complete walkthrough, right? But what you need to do, you're playing a contest. We are not integrated with DraftKings, right? We communicate with DraftKings, but we are not directly integrated. So when you sign up for a contest on DraftKings, SaberSim does not know. You need to tell SaberSim you are playing a contest on DraftKings. The way you do that, you go to contests, you go to my contests, you use this download template file from DraftKings button. If you are also signed into DraftKings on your device, what we will do is we will go to DraftKings. We will look for a contest file that matches the slate selected up at the top. We will see if you have entries for that contest. If you do, we will download it to your computer. And then all you need to do is go to the download bar up at the top and then drag that file into here. And then now that is your way of telling SaberSim, hey, I am playing these contests or this contest, right? So let me just enter a quick contest for tonight here. So if I go to Showdown Captain mode for tonight, just going to enter something very basic here. Reserve a seat without a lineup in it. So now I have a contest, right? So I'm going to come to this page. I'm going to click download template file. It's going to automatically download a CSV with a list of contests that I'm playing for the slate selected. I just drag it and drop it in here. Boom. Now SaberSim knows, oh, okay, you're playing these many contests here, right? So that's what you're doing. So now you're playing these many contests. And then from there, I can go to my build here, right? I can make my 2 adjustments to projections. I can run my lineups in the settings. And then I have my lineups here. So then once my lineups are dialed in, right, I'm using a single lineup in this contest. I'm going to go to save to my contests. I'm going to make sure I have a selection method selected up here in the top right. So method, unique, rank, perfect. I'm going to hit save to contest. Next to the slate selector, this download icon is going to turn green, letting me know, hey, your CSV is ready to download. And then I can do 2 things here. If I have open DFS site on download turned on, it will download the file and open up the page on DraftKings that has the file that I need to upload to DraftKings. If I have it off, then it is just going to download the file. But it is, when you click this button, the download that comes from it is what you need to upload back to DraftKings to tell DraftKings, hey, this is my lineup, or these are my set of lineups for the contest that I'm playing here. So easy. I see you're posting it in the office hours channel. I really hope you're following along with this demo here. And then once again, appreciate Wise Guys helping out. All right, M. Jackson, thank you for answering. I'm not using contest sims. So to clarify, will it take custom ownership into account for regular builds? Okay, so thank you for the clarification, by the way. So it will take ownership into account in the post build. So we do not use ownership when we build your lineups. What we are using is we are randomly sampling the sims with our sim diversity slider, and then we are using correlation, which correlation is looking at how players correlate to other players in the game. And then you can see those correlation values by clicking on any one player. So Alexander Madison, most correlated to Kirk Cousins, also the Vikings kicker, also Brock Purdy on the other side of the ball. So really interesting game correlations here, right? So the correlation slider is going to amplify those correlations by producing a projection multiplier here. And then what it is doing is it is using what we call upside correlation. It is zoning in on the correlations that the players have with other players in the games when they have a good game, right? If Alexander Madison does really bad, one, he's probably not going to make it into your lineup. So why do we really care about his correlations, right? But when Alexander Madison, scores 2 touchdowns, etc., how is he correlating to the other players in the games in those sets of sims? And that is what we are zoning in on when we are building your lineups here. At no point are we taking into account ownership in the lineup building process. Where we take into account ownership is in the lineup grading process. So the lineups get built here, and then lineups get put into the pool. Well, once the lineups are put into the pool, we go in with SaberScore, which is our in-house lineup sorting metric here. And then we use these variables in the formula to grade your lineups from best to worst. So your lineups are not generated best to worst. They are all generated based on the sims, and then SaberScore will go in and then grade them from there. So if you're uploading custom ownership, that will have an effect on the average adjusted ownership variable here. So you will be all set with that. But great question. All right, we are all caught up with questions in both the Office Hours channel and the YouTube chat here. Appreciate GM33 letting Easy E know that we covered his question here. So Easy, if you're just tuning in, we just got through basically a whole segment about the questions that you were asking here. So what I would do is just rewind a little bit, and then we basically walk through the process from start to finish. But that about does for today, guys. Big shout out to the Max Challenge winners for this week, Relic CK and Karen's 99 here. So our support team will reach out to you, let you know that you guys have won here. We will be right back here tomorrow, same time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern for our show tomorrow before going back to our normal schedule on Wednesday. Appreciate you guys tuning in to this, odd time show. But until tomorrow, take care. Good luck in your contests. I will see you all. Thanks. Bye.